Philadelphia, the 2019 NFL Combine is looming in less than a week, and it figures to be another action-packed week of the NFL offseason. The Philadelphia Eagles will head to Indianapolis with a number of pressing needs. There are questions in the trenches and at some skill positions. Some key free agents could leave. The 2019 NFL Draft is important for the franchise's future. Here are some prospects to watch at positions of need for the Eagles. Could some of these players land in Philadelphia? Sure. Could none of these players land in Philadelphia? Also sure. But they represent some intriguing prospects, whether it's at no. 25 in the first round or a later pick, at positions where the Eagles need help. Nasir Adderley, Delaware. Adderley already has a geographic connection to the Eagles. He was born in Philadelphia and attended Great Valley High before beginning his college career at Delaware. Proximity is a good place to start. Eagles will return Malcolm Jenkins, Rodney McLeod, Trey Sullivan and Avonte Maddox in 2019, but there needs to be some future planning at the position. Adderley could add some depth and talent. Dakota Allen, LB, Texas Tech. The Eagles don't appear set to invest many resources into the linebacker position, but with Jordan Hicks potentially on his way out, the Birds need an infusion of some young, cheap talent. Allen, who starred in the Netflix documentary The Last Chance U, should be available in a later round. Reichwell Armstead, RB, Temple. Armstead is another local prospect after growing up in South Jersey and attending Temple, where he developed into a hard-nosed running back with eyes for the end zone. He could be a riser through his workouts, but the Eagles need help at running back. If they like what they see, he could be another local running back, following in the footsteps of Corey Clement and Josh Adams, to join the Eagles. Marquise Brown, WR, Oklahoma. Brown will be interesting to hear from at the Combine. He reportedly had Lisfranc surgery last month and won't participate in drills, but he'll still be in Indianapolis. He should be ready for training camp this summer, but the injury could cause his stock to drop a little. The Eagles need a downfield threat, which Brown was during his time with the Sooners. Isaiah Buggs, DL, Alabama. It's a deep defensive line class, and while Buggs isn't necessarily projected to be one of the top linemen available, he could still project to be a solid second or third round pick. The Eagles need defensive linemen, and Buggs could be a good secondary option if all the first round talents are gone by the time the Eagles are on the clock at no. 25, Yodny Cajuste, OL, West Virginia. The Eagles have 3 West Virginia products on their roster. Is there room for a 4th? Yes. The 6'5", 318-pound Cajuste would be a good block of clay for Jeff Stoutland to mold, and he could develop into a starting caliber tackle. It remains to be seen if Cajuste can work his way into the first round, though. TJ Edwards, LB, Wisconsin. The Badgers have a solid track record in developing linebackers in recent seasons, and Edwards had a productive senior season with 112 total tackles, 11.5 tackles for loss, 3.0 sacks and 3 interceptions. He wouldn't cost a high pick, but it might be worth checking if he's a fit. Elijah Holyfield, RB, Georgia. So the Eagles need a running back, right? And they're not necessarily prone to breaking the bank, either. The draft seems like a solid solution. Holyfield follows in the footsteps of Todd Gurley and Sony Michel as a prominent Georgia running back after rushing for 1,018 yards and averaging 6.4 yards per carry last season. It's hard to see the Eagles spending a high pick on a running back, so Holyfield could be there in the second round or so. Josh Jacobs, RB, Alabama. But if the Eagles do decide to spend a high pick on a running back, Jacobs would be a solid choice. He's scored 14 offensive touchdowns in Alabama's balanced offense, and he has some dangerous athleticism stored in his 5'10", 216-pound frame. Elgton Jenkins, OL, Mississippi State. There has been plenty of focus on the Eagles' tackle situation, with left tackle Jason Peters' future seemingly up in the air. But Philadelphia needs some help on the interior of the offensive line, too. Wilkins is one of the top center prospects. He allowed only 1 sack in his junior and senior seasons, and he also started games at left tackle, left guard and right tackle in college. That versatility could be valuable if the Eagles' offensive line hits a transitional period. Dexter Lawrence. Lawrence is more of a run stuffer than Wilkins, but both would pair nicely with Fletcher Cox on the interior of the Eagles' defensive line. If either Lawrence or Wilkins is available at No. 25, it seems it would be a good fit, especially with Tim Jernigan as a potential cap casualty. Sheriff Miller, edge, Penn State. Miller grew up in Philadelphia and stayed in state to play his college football. He flashed potential throughout his career and recorded 26.5 tackles for loss and 13 sacks in his final 2 seasons of college football. In a deep class of pass rushers, he might be available a little later in the draft. It'll be worth seeing how he measures in tests in Indianapolis. Deebo Samuel, Wr. South Carolina. Samuel's career as a Gamecock featured plenty of injuries, but when he was healthy, he was one of the SEC's top playmakers. The medical testing might be the most important part of the combine for him, but if everything checks out and he tests well, he could profile as a dangerous playmaker for the Eagles. Darnell Savage, S. Maryland. Savage is another semi-local prospect as a Delaware native who played early in his career at Maryland and developed into a ball-hawking safety who could deliver a hit. He picked off 7 passes in his final 2 seasons and has some versatility from playing corner early in his career. Montez Sweat, edge, Mississippi State. In early mock drafts, many analysts connected Sweat to the Eagles at No. 25, but after the Senior Bowl, Sweat seemed to climb a little bit, and with some solid testing in Indy, he could do it again. But there appear to be some character concerns with him. It'll be interesting to see where his stock is in 2 weeks. Philadelphia Eagles on Penn Live -- at Daniel Gallen.